and is a Google specialist. And he actually got caught in a scam, somebody pretending to be Ace Hardware. And they wanted him to do a survey, and we'll give you this, this prize for like $8. And it was something that he was wanting to buy anyways. And so he went right in, he did it, gave his credit card, and then charges started racking up. And so then he realized, and he knows, right? But he was just either really busy and didn't think about it, or he got excited. He dropped his guard, and that's exactly how easy it can happen. A lot of people say, I can't believe people are that stupid. Intelligence has nothing to do with it, right? They get you into an emotional state, and you're not thinking rationally.
Welcome to Grow Healthy, Help People, a Cordis podcast that talks with great nonprofit leaders. And today we're talking with Joyce from Rose Advocacy. Joyce, how's your day going?
It's going great. How's yours, Jay?
It's been great. I'm in Tennessee and you are
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. Is that home for your whole life or are you new to the area?
No, so I've been here since 1992, so 33 years.
Yeah, that
I grew up in
counts.
Northeast Ohio. So,
Okay, that's great.
yeah, I
And,
can say I've
and
been here longer than I was in Ohio. So,
we'll call that home, definitely.
yeah,
So Rose Advocacy, you and I talked a while back, and my company's getting support you in some different ways now. But tell me more about the mission of Rose Advocacy, and then I want to dig into how you got to where you are and how that's going leading the organization.
sure, sure. So the mission is to prevent the financial exploitation and defrauding of the older adults through advocacy and education, which is really a scam prevention through education program for the seniors. They are the most targeted, they lose the most money, and education can really help them be able to recognize scams and then not fall victim.
Yeah. So ROSE stands for Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly. That's the acronym for the name there. I was watching some of the videos that you guys have put online recently, and was encouraged to hear another gentleman on your videos saying, just be bold. Don't be afraid to be rude to somebody who's trying to take your money. Just say it. And I thought, huh, that's great. Some people just do need that privilege and encouragement to go for it, just to say it. So tell me how you got from where you were in life to leading Rose. What was your step from getting outside of that organization to running Rose?
So I actually, I'm an accountant by trade, and I was working in the public accounting industry. And then I retired from there, did a little bit of corporate accounting, and then my kids were getting into elementary school. And so I just was a stay at home mom and did a lot of volunteer work. And then in 2014, I co founded a nonprofit in Phoenix and was running great and left there in April of 21. And in all honesty, Shay, I was not looking to start another nonprofit, but then I learned of a
Hmm.
loved one who had been a victim of a romance scam. So I started doing a lot of research that summer and was like, and I'm in the senior category.
Hmm.
So, there's not a lot of organizations that educate and are on the preventative, I should say, are on the preventative side of things. There's a lot of them that are out there that help you once you become a victim, and then you get some education and, and all of that. But we took the approach of this is preventable. The world is so much different today than it was when I grew up. And so it's education and knowing, the red flags to look out for, and then changing some of your habits and building a healthy skepticism. And like you said, knowing it's okay to be rude, it's okay to hang up on scammers. It's okay to ask questions. Yeah. So.
Wow. So is the majority, tell me about your programs that you're running. Is the majority of the program information digitally spread through email or Facebook or social media? Or how do you reach out and engage the people that need to hear what you're saying?
So our program, the majority of what we do is in person. And so we work with a lot of 55 plus communities here in Arizona. We have, it's We have a lot of those communities. We have a lot of retired people here. We work through them, independent livings, churches, senior centers, variety of different places, where we can find the 55 plus. And we go in person.
Love.
We have a full PowerPoint, and then we just updated our resource packet. We're up to 30 pages now. And we go through it, right? If somebody says you only have an hour, then we tailor it and we stay after to ask questions. But we really like to have an hour and a half, because I don't like to have people wait to the end to ask questions, because a lot of times when they're trying to write their question down, they're then missing what we're talking about,
Same.
right? And
Yeah.
so being able to answer those questions, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from the people in there. They're just like, wow, we had no idea. And I even had somebody tell me recently, I've been to every fraud prevention seminar, presentation that's out there, no matter if law enforcement did it, if the attorney general did it, whatever. And she was like, you have by far the most comprehensive program that's out there. She goes, I learned more things that I can't wait to share with my friends, right? And so we do that, but we will do Zoom, webinars, which we've started doing for companies, especially maybe to train their employees. They want to record it and send it out to their clients. But the exciting thing that we're going to be launching, hopefully in the next 30 to 45 days, is licensing our program. So
Okay.
I'm
Tell
waiting
me
for
more
that.
about that. How would that work?
So you would pay an annual fee, and that annual fee is statewide. So, like, say a company, an individual, whoever it is, wants to, let's say a company wants to pay the annual license fee. It's $495. If you want us to do the scheduling for you, don't quote me on this, but I think it's $695. But and so they pay the fee, and then whoever they want to be trained to be able to deliver the program, they have to watch the training videos. There'll probably be two. And then they have to take a quiz. They have to pass the quiz. And then once they pass the quiz, they have access to our online store. Yep, they have to buy the resource packet, and that'll be adjusted depending on what state they live in. And then we have our PowerPoint. We have some other optional items like folders and notepads and notebooks, and we also give out a gel ink pen for check fraud. And they would just need to provide, they can buy their gel ink pens wherever, and they can do as many or as little presentations as they want. If they have multiple offices in the same state, that one license fee covers all their offices in that state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. And so this would be people that want to carry on the mission or really want to care for the people that are being
Right.
impacted. And they're going, but they
Absolutely.
don't know how to do this. You guys
Right.
can resource them, give them the content, the materials, the
Yep.
training, saying,
Yep.
you have what you need now. Go talk to the folks that are being
Go do
scammed
it.
here.
Right. And we ask them, to fill out the surveys, and that's something they'll have to send back to us, because we want to know, we love the surveys. Right. The feedback, how we're doing, but also attendees that fill it out will write something down. Like, we ask them, what do you wish would have been in the presentation, right? We get, and so we went through, when we updated at the beginning of September, we went through the surveys for the last 6 months, and I wrote down a whole list of things.
Took those learnings,
Yeah.
applied them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. So do you know statistics, rough numbers of like what is the magnitude of people getting scammed or getting um, defrauded by people that are out there?
So we take our statistics from the FBI. They have an internet crime complaint center, where people can report when they've been a victim, whether or not they've lost money, whether or not they fell victim. Maybe they encountered it and they were able to realize it and stop the contacts. So that's where we take it's ic3.gov is the
Okay.
website. And I want to say all populations last year, based on what was reported in the United States, lost, I think, like 12.5 or close to $13 billion.
Wow.
But the the 60 plus, so they'll do the age populations like 19 or 18 to 29, then 30 to 39. And when they hit 60, it's just 60 plus.
Okay.
And they usually account for that population, usually accounts for about a third. And I believe in 24, they lost 4.2 billion dollars. Yeah. And then we also break it down because we're in Arizona to Arizona, and there were just over 6,000 victims reported that lost $190 million. And that went from 2020, it was 27 million, right? And now it's up to 190 in 5 years, a 600% increase.
Is it safe to say that there is no one that has not either been a victim or a target of a scam? I mean, there's really nobody that hasn't gotten a phone call or gotten a letter or gotten a text message. I mean, most people just know not to respond, but there's a population who you're serving that doesn't know, just don't respond.
Well,
Just
right, but
let it
even
go.
even Shay, even the people that know not to respond, they're going to get caught when they've got five different things going on, right? And they're going to click. Like I have a friend that is on the computer 24/7. There's a Google specialist, and he actually got caught in a scam, somebody pretending to be Ace Hardware. And they wanted him to do a survey, and we'll give you this prize for like $8. And it was something that he was wanting to buy anyways. And so he went right in, he did it, gave his credit card, and then charges started racking up. And so then he realized, and he knows, right? But he was just either really busy and didn't think about it, or he got excited, he dropped his guard, and that's exactly how easy it can happen. A lot of people say, I can't believe people are that stupid. Intelligence has nothing to do with it, right? They get you into an emotional state and you're not thinking rationally.
Could you walk me through the two or three main ways that someone that might see this podcast could know to protect themselves or to inform a loved one of what to avoid? Like, what are some of the main scams that are happening that are pulling people in and taking their money?
Well, social engineering is the main thing, and that's
Okay.
what gets the majority of people in trouble. And that's where the scammers exploit your emotions. And so there's a lot of different ways they do it. They could send phishing emails, and
Okay.
that happens a lot. I just recently talked to a lady that told me about she got an email from Norton thanking her for renewing her antivirus subscription and that they had taken $499 out of her bank account. And she got scared because she was like, I've never had Norton. I didn't authorize this transaction. And
Yeah.
there was a phone number in there, call this phone. And so she called the phone number and she's working with them, right? And he's like, I'm so sorry, we can get this, charge reversed. And so they said for her to open up her bank account. And they actually, for what she was looking at, she saw them she saw a $499 charge come through, right?
Okay.
And so they're like, well, you need to reverse that. They're like, just put, $500 or whatever, right? And we're going to reverse it. And
Yeah.
so they're going to reverse just
I've
$500, right?
seen this.
Right,
And they
exactly.
reversed 5,000 or something.
Exactly. Yes. And
Yeah.
so, but her husband heard her talking partway through this, and he went and called the bank. And the bank's like, no, stop what you're doing, hang the phone up. This is a scam. There's nothing going on. And so he went and told her, and she hung up. And then she went and got on her bank account like she normally would and saw that there was no activity on there whatsoever from Norton. But had that gone on for another 60, 90 seconds, she would have given them $5,000. And then a day or two later found out that she never had 5,000 put in, right? And so this is a tech support scam, and tech support scams have been one of the top three scams that this age population becomes a victim of for the last number of years. And it started with, when they first started doing tech support, it was like you get that message on your device, and it's sometimes has loud noise, right? Call this number, you got a virus, blah blah blah. Well, scammers, as they do, they evolve and they change their techniques. So that's exactly what they did with this tech support scam is they're like, oh, well, we're going to now make it like a refund subscription where we can show people that we're putting this money in their account. So then they'll send it back to us. Right. Because we've
And
obviously
they
added.
log on their computer and go into the code real fast and add a line of code in there, and then people
Exactly.
see. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So the best thing to do is to go directly to your bank account and check things out, right? Don't ever call any numbers, respond to the email or text or, whatever it is. But yeah, and that was a phishing email to try to get her to respond. Now, was she the one of the very few that they sent that email out to? No, she was one of millions, right? They didn't target her specifically. They have a computer system that sends that to millions of people because our email addresses are out there, our phone numbers are out there, right?
Yeah. And all they're needing is for uh 0.2% to
Exactly.
respond.
To
They just need a
engage.
couple a day.
They just need
Yeah.
them to engage, and then they go on a different list saying, hey, this email likes to engage, this phone number likes to engage. We're going to keep on them because we can trip them up. Even if we don't get them the first 3 times, we're going to keep on them because we'll get them one of these times.
Um, so let's talk about one more scam type. So tell me, what is one more type of scam that pulls people in from your population or the population you're serving? So there's the social engineering, the pull them into a relationship or show them that emotionally they owe somebody something back. What's another key type of scam that you've seen?
Well, another one could be like the romance scam, or there's the investment scam. And when you pair those two together, you end up with one called a pig butchering scam. And so someone reaches out to you. Yeah, someone reaches out to you and they're not necessarily, sometimes they might be a love interest, right? Other times it could be just establishing a friendship. And it could be something as innocent as you getting a text saying, I'm looking forward to seeing you at happy hour on Friday night. And you're like, and you want to respond back and go, I think you have the wrong number, right? I used to do that all the time. Now I don't. I just delete them. But you just want to, be nice and respond back and say, I think you have the wrong number. And then they respond with something else and they're getting you into a conversation. And the more conversation you have with them, the more you think that they're your friend. Or, like I said, sometimes they might start the whole grooming for the love interest romance scam. But the pig butchering is one, then they actually will have fake investment statements and they start talking to you about a specific investment. A lot of times it's cryptocurrency, and that they're making like humongous returns on their investments. I mean, they are better than Warren Buffett and they are better than the
Okay.
best people in the market, right?
Okay.
And they get you excited, right? Don't you want to make these returns? 70% returns, right? Again, one of those things, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But
Yeah.
you get into that emotional state of being excited and they want you to invest, right? And so
Mm.
then some people might say, well, I'll just do $100, but then no, they're trying to get you to do 1,000 or more, right? And you invest and then they have a fake statement showing you what you're making on, so you're thinking you're making this money,
Yeah.
right?
And so this could be a
And
long-term scam. This could be
it
for
could be,
years.
right?
Yeah.
And so you start investing more and they keep
And
showing
they're
you
just
the
taking your
statements.
money. There's obviously no investment. They're just taking the
Absolutely,
money.
right? And then at some point you want to start taking it out. And there's reasons. And then it'll eventually come to where you're demanding it, and then they're either just going to cut off contact or, try to get you back into that emotional state to keep you investing. But I've heard, and this was a, a very intelligent lady. She lost like $500,000 to this type of scam. So it's, it happens. So it could be a romance. I actually did my radio show Tuesday morning, and one of my advisory board members was on there sharing his scam experience of a loved one, which started out as a romance scam, but then continued into inheritance and other scams. And to his knowledge, today is still being scammed, and he lost his house and It's a very it's a very devastating, but it's very good to listen to. To
Go from it can go from as simple as somebody getting you to give $49
Mhm.
to a multi-year lose everything.
Absolutely.
Is it safe to say that a principle, the safest principle is do not engage? Don't even
Exactly.
text them back and say, I'm not
Right.
falling for this.
Nope.
Don't respond to
Don't
the
engage.
email. Don't do
Right.
anything.
Nope.
Delete it and move on.
And
And if you
and
happen to delete somebody that actually sent you a message and they're mad at you a year later, just apologize. Sorry,
well,
I
yeah, you
didn't.
just tell them what happened, and they're going to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I get it." Right. Um, but yeah, and and sometimes this population still worries that, okay, maybe I did miss jury duty because that was a big one going around the last couple of years, right? Or the toll road, fees. Maybe I was on a toll road, and we're just so used to paying our bills and paying them on time that we're more apt to, right, to want to just go in and pay it. But the best thing to do is stop, take that pause, and think about it. And if you really think you did miss jury duty, call the courthouse themselves and talk to them about it. They're going to be able to tell you if you were even summoned for jury duty and all of that. The toll road, you know, we tell people, first of all, Arizona has no toll roads. So if you get something from an Arizona toll road, it's a scam. But other states have toll roads, right? So think about it. Well, was I in that state? If you happen to be in that state, then find the verified website or the verified phone number for that Department of Transportation, so you can call them and say, "Hey, do I owe these tolls?" That's your way to verify. We tell people in the 80s, Ronald Reagan did the trust but verify. And we could do that back then. We can't do that today. We have to flip it around and we have to verify everything before we can even begin to trust that it is valid. Yeah.
That's great. So, Joyce, you never started out saying, I want to be the director of a nonprofit. I'm going to do this nonprofit. Because of the need, you saw the need and you stepped into that gap. How is it running a nonprofit? What are the moving pieces and what do you have to think about every day? Fundraising, accounting, database, all those things.
All those things and more, right? So we are just over 4 years old. So we're still
Mhm.
considered quite new, right? And at least in the first 3 years, it's more difficult for funding. There's a lot of grant funders that, don't want to,
Require
they
require a few
require you've been
years under
around
your
for
belt.
three
Yeah.
years, right? And I get it, I get their reasoning, but it just makes it even more difficult, right? And so on a daily basis, so like today, for instance, right? I'm doing this podcast with you, but like I said, I had gotten up really early. So we're starting to do sponsorships for our golf tournament, which is April 10th, 26. So I had to go in and update the website for the golf tournament. Now, when I'm done with this, I got to go into Canva and fix some things on the flyers, right? And get it over to my grant writer so she has the updated version. And I'm going to be pre recording the October 28th radio show at 10 o'clock today. And then I've got to finish the September accounting to get it over to my treasurer or actually to get it to our outside accounting firm to review, then to the treasurer, right? And I've got people that I need to follow up with. I've got flyers I need to do for some presentations I just scheduled. And then, I'm stopping and picking up some branded notebooks we had done and then going over to a networking meeting in the West Valley. And then that's going to put me till 7 o'clock tonight, where then I'm going to go drive to a friend's for dinner for personal to meet my husband over there. So, I mean, that encompasses today.
But other than that, you have nothing going on, right? Other than 3 a.m. until 10 p.m., you've got nothing going on. That's nuts. So you and I know that Accordis, the company that I work with, my company, is starting to do some office work for you, database kinds of things, just helping you out, taking work off your plate. If anybody else who's watching this runs a nonprofit or knows folks that run nonprofits and knows that the leader, similar to Joyce, is doing every job, because every small nonprofit, the leader does every job, and they need to get work off their plate, feel free to reach out to us. Joyce, what are ways that people could get involved in what you're doing in Rose Advocacy, and what are some steps they could take to help you on this journey?
We're on social media. LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd like to say Facebook is back up, but it is not. We've been down for over a month. It's very frustrating. I still have no idea why they took us down, but they took us down. So I've got somebody working on trying to get that back up. But sharing our information on social media is great for awareness because that spider web effect. We also do monthly newsletters. We do one that we send in the mail because we realize this population likes to get things in the mail and read it, but we also do one via email. Has a lot of information. Say you work for a company and maybe sign up for the emailed newsletter, and when you get it, it's got valuable information. Send it out to your clients and customers, and that's a way to get more information out there, right? And then our website is roseadvocacy.org. You can get on there. You can donations obviously are great, but you can sponsor presentations. We have a sponsorship package you can get, and then you can get some more marketing with that. And we have the event, right? The golf tournament. We're starting to look for sponsors for that. We have a variety of different sponsorship levels. And we have a radio show. We do every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock Pacific time, and we're looking for sponsors for the radio show as well. We have a variety of levels for that.
And where would people hear your radio show?
So it's on K4HD, I believe is
Okay.
but what if they go to our YouTube channel, they can
Okay.
find all of the past
Yep.
episodes and shorts, but we have a website, let's talk about scams.com. If you go to
Okay.
that website, you will see all of the podcast platforms it airs on, and you will see the radio where it actually airs on the radio and the time.
Joyce, thanks for the work you're doing. Every
Absolutely.
single person that I know has been not a victim, but targeted in a scam or
Targeted,
is a
right.
victim. So
Yeah.
thank you for the work you're doing.
You're
That work
very
matters.
welcome.
Thanks for leading your organization, and best of luck
Thank
as you
you.
continue in the future. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye bye.